Hey, hey, hey. I'm back. See if anybody rolls in. It is the 28th of the 6th, 2021. For my American family, 28th of June, 2021. I know you put it the other way around. Which way is right and which way is wrong? Anybody comes rolling in for the tarot stroke energies of the day. I know I'm late in the day. Hey, Andrea. Thank you, thank you. Good day to you. Hey, Alex. Hi to you too. Hi, hi, vibes. I get what you did there. 1 second. Now I can see the chat better. Need the glasses on. So I'm sorry it's late in the day. We did it. We did it. Yes, we did. You sent me an email. Okay. I'll check that out. Sorry, I'm still catching up on emails and messages. Being away, it's crazy. We were away for one night, but we did so much in one day and one night, didn't we? It feels like it's been a week, so I'm catching up. Hey, Joe. Yo, 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 from Joe. Love from Holland. Love to you from Newcastle, Joe. Hi to you. Like Alex said, hi, 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 vibes. So, Jenny Bear went on a certain march for freedom on Saturday. Yeah, Saturday. And it was pretty powerful seeing everybody there, being with the people. Aruba, that sounds nice. Aruba. Hey, my Susie Q, my sister. So, sorry for the short notice. She said, give me notice and you're going to go live. I'll give it 2 minutes notice. But she's used to me. She says, hello, all you awesome people. Abundant favor to you all. Nothing missing, nothing broken. May peace be with you always in the midst of chaos. So, hey, big brother. Hey, Elder Barry. Big bro. So I did that march, that freedom march. Hey, Paul from Newcastle. Fancy, you said you were getting a bus to Newcastle. I saw that comment, having a time to reply, and I wasn't in Newcastle the one time you coming into Newcastle. You coming to say hello, baby? Missed everybody. So come up then. And so yeah, I did a march. It was great. The vibe was great. Everybody held their ground, and got a bit intense near Westminster, as it should, as it needs to, but it stayed under control. And it was fantastic seeing such a wide range of people. And I did notice some infiltration there in people who maybe are representing a group and trying to do talks on certain corners, trying to sway the crowd one way. A certain group actually that has links to Boris, ironically, and his son. So, but people didn't buy it. People didn't buy it. Yeah, everyone's saying hello. There's your Susie Q, look. And so people didn't buy it, and we marched on regardless. The police were tame. Now, the energy was great. It was fantastic. She says, hello, Theo, cutie pie. The energy was fantastic. It was powerful. It was great. Hey, Keith. Look, there's Keith. Hello, Theo. He says, hello, my Theo, my lad. Hope you're okay. You going to tell him you're okay? Yes, shy boy. So then, so this march, it was powerful, it was impactful, it was great to be around so many different people from all different walks of life, living proof that we don't need to be, Susie says, love you, Theo. She put hearts in your swords there and a kiss. Mwah.
Well, literally, it's like, I don't know.
Yes, literally. And so so it was great to show that actually we don't need to be micromanaged. There's far less division amongst the people than is made out in the propaganda, in the headlines, and in the divisional tools, like a football game that the government uses. It hurt the back. I walked for miles. But there was many aspects of it that were super powerful. But me and a few of the ladies, I kept saying, I felt like something was going to go down that day and on the 28th today. And I still feel that. I feel like something big is going to be happening in London today. I haven't had a chance to look at anything yet. And obviously it's late in the day, so I've been catching up on everything. He says, come on, Theo, you're not shy. So Keith said, yeah, you're being embarrassed, are you? He's pretending to be, Keith. So I feel that still. And on the march, there was these fantastic aspects. I couldn't get a live feed going to save my life, but many people were having trouble with it. They did have signal jammers in certain streets. And so as soon as the march was over, bang, all the internet fine. There was just as many people around. So a lot of people, I should have just maybe recorded it so I could have posted it up. He's saying hugs to you, look. He's saying love you all, it says on there. Keep speed, good boy. The reading's getting so good. And so these aspects of what was going down is that
someone said something. What's that?
There's Chris Lipthorpe. He's put in Chris, something happened. Explosion. Please look up that link that Chris has put up. Oh, can I copy it though, Chris? Because the YouTube people won't say, I can show it on the screen. So can you look up that link, anybody, and tell me what's going on? Because that if Chris has put that there, then it means it's something.
Sounds good.
Something to look at. Susie says it was great to see you. But the reception was just so bad. Yeah, it was, Susie. It was just like it was giving me a few minutes and then just hooking off again, just not doing it again. And then it just wouldn't let us on at all once we got further into London. It just wouldn't let us go live at all, if but for a few seconds. So I gave up on that. And so because I thought that might be more frustrating than anything else to anybody watching. Okay, baby, shut that door when you go out. Will not be long. And so okay, baby. So then I basically was watching the crowd, was watching the police. The police were super calm. There was more of them, but they were super calm. And I was discussing it with the ladies I was with and saying, I'm watching the behavior, and this is almost like they're letting us at it. And then another beautiful lady, Jo, had said the same thing, not knowing I'd been discussing that with someone else previously.
What did Susie
and
say?
so so I can't keep reading them all out, baby. Let mommy talk. So then that confirmed it for me, and it felt like they were letting us do what we needed to do to sort of blow the steam. In their eyes, this is what they thought they were doing. Now on the ground, I'm not belittling what the protest did, because I can tell you now it was so powerful, it was so beautiful. People were building bonds, people were making plans to stay in touch, to support one another. And we're talking about food, we're talking about trading, people being able to Keith says, love you, man. He says that to you. But that was super powerful. So the protest needed to happen for that reason. So when I'm saying all of this isn't to belittle the protest, because the bonds that people
Amen.
I know it's okay. I've got the mic. The bonds that people made that will carry on, and the impact people had. A lot of my comrades, like Chris, who put a comment up there on Facebook that I'm showing on the screen now, he could tell you the same, that these were powerful bonds that was made strength between amongst the people that will come in handy later down the line. So that was powerful, but they were just letting us get on with it, so to speak. There wasn't even any trouble in Hyde Park on the night time. They didn't bother us, and I feel that was because there was many changes being made in Parliament. And of course, we found out later on, everybody had been so busy on the march, that Hancock had handed in his resignation. The man should not be resigning. The man should be arrested, along with all of the other people that he's been working with to help roll out this plan throughout the UK, to be a part of this worldwide plan. None of them should be resigning or even getting the privilege to resign. Each and every one of them should be held for treason against the people. So that is a strike. But also it brought in the fact that here's a new monster worse than the old monster, in that we've got this guy, I can't even remember his name. Chris will remember his name. If you want to put it in the chat, please, brother. He's great with names and things, but he's Davos. His background is in the slums of the elite, and those circles. So this being part of, I feel, the ritual that was at the G7, certain things that are going to come out with the UK government, rules, stipulations, on things that they've done, i.e. putting people like that monster in place of the old monster that was in place, Hancock. It was part of us letting us get on with it. Now, Chris has put something in the chat, and I'm dying to go off live now to see what he's put in, because I know Chris wouldn't put something in the chat unless it was applicable to what I was saying. So, Chris, I can't come off the live to have a look at that, so I'll look at it after. But if anybody wants to go and come back, no offense taken, I'll be quite happy. Because I felt today I've kept telling everybody that I've been talking with, where I've been doing public talks, where I've been speaking to people, watch out for the 28th. Bad things are going to go down on the 28th. I've kept feeling it. I knew that was a part of the solstice energies. I knew that was a part of the G7 energies. I feel sacrifices are going to be made today, that have been planned, that have been allowed to happen, whatever. But that's going down today, and obviously it's not nice. It's not a nice feeling, which is why I really feel that let us get on with it as well on the 26th.
Why did you say no?
I feel like London is going to be cut off somehow. That the next protest is going to be far harder to get to next month. Somehow, some way. I feel it's much more, it's a magical day for me too, Susie. I'm just talking about what they're doing. I know that this day is very, very impactful.
No.
Yeah, because she doesn't want nasty things happening. This day, you can't ignore what they're doing. Susie, it is a powerful day for us, and this is centered in the UK, and this is centered around the UK government in particular. Oh, she says it's Hunter's birthday. That's Susie's grandson. So happy birthday to Hunter. Say happy birthday, Hunter. Shout it on the mic.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Hunter. Say happy birthday to you.
She also said
Happy
no.
birthday to you.
I'm not sure why she laughed out loud by saying no.
Happy birthday, dear Hunter. Happy birthday to you. Hip hip. Hooray! You know, I don't sing, Susie, so you know I mean that.
also said
Maybe
no.
not let Hunter listen if it's a very nice birthday.
She also.
Yeah, she's our Susie. Look, she's just joking. She says,
No.
"Thank you, Theo." So she lolled. You lolled, Susie. So yeah, this is centered around Parliament. This is centered around the UK government. There's certain actions, at least two things that are going to happen. At least two things happened on the 26th. I know that one of them being the exit of Hancock and the entry of whoever this guy is, was one of them. And that was not good, not good at all. And so while the protest was super powerful and we made great contacts, and I've got some great interviews planned coming up if they all come off, meeting some fantastic people regarding the, don't say sorry, Susie, regarding, you know, interviews that are going to be really good and impactful and knowledgeable for people, to give people the knowledge that they need to protect themselves legally, things like that. So hopefully, you know, put energy into those all coming off as planned, because, you know, they were really beautiful conversations I had. So that's not to take away from the day at all. But more has to happen. More has to happen. I can't tell you the level of darkness more than I already have regarding what plans and agendas are planned. I think people really do need to allow that to sink in now. And, you know, I don't care about whether I get subscribers or not. I know that I could do the 17th letter related readings. I know I could do all love and light and nothing else, but you can't do that. That's how we got into this mess. And so I'd rather have listeners who, I know I'm not speaking at any of my family, you know that, but you know, I'd rather have listeners that are there, that are at that level of knowing, to be able to know that you cannot even have the level of light that most people talk about without knowing the balance of the darkness, and that being the opposing force on the outside of you and within you. And you know, the darkness within most people, the yin and the yang, the balance of the divine feminine, divine masculine, it's not a bad and good thing. It's just energy of different opposing forces. But there is a level of depravity in what is depicted as the darkness. For want of a better word, English is so limiting as far as these powers that be. It doesn't have to go like this. It doesn't have to be like this. We don't need to repeat this history loop. If enough people will figure out that we've been far too complacent, far too apathetic, and we've gotten this far down the line that it really is, that window is nearly closed for us, you know, not allowing certain things to come down the pipeline. Now, most of us haven't lived in places like China. Most of us haven't had to live in places where we have such draconian rules. Yet many of us in the collective have accepted the conditioning, the training that they've sent down the line so easily, like that, giving away their rights. Literally putting themselves on the training course, signing up and saying, there you go. And then they have the audacity, hey, David, my brother, hey, Gaia, the audacity to sign up their children for it too. That literally they've been going through this whole experiment so happily, so easily, wanting to believe in saviors, wanting to believe in the fluffy tarot readings that don't give any grounding for you to be able to stand on your soil, on your darkness, or stand on the soil of the darkness on the outside forces to be able to even reach the light. So easily. People who don't know the devastation and the difficulty of living somewhere under a CCP type regime have signed away and given away, muzzled up, rolled up like that, signed themselves up on this conditioning course that has put all people in jeopardy of having to live the type of CCP regime. My daughter was saying 4 years ago, change today, be China or be China tomorrow. Many people did change like that around the world, gave away their birthright freedoms. They weren't taken from them, they gave them away. And that meant that, the whole of the collective has to be swayed down a route that did not have to happen. They've tried this over and over again. They've played the long game, continuing to try this same history loop type, war. Like I said it before all of this, it said it was like, it's like I'm seeing the repeat of World War II coming. And you can see the agenda, how it reflects World War II. All of the aspects of World War II, all of the divisional tools of World War II, all of the propaganda of World War II, the elites owning and financing all sides of World War II. If you break down all of the different aspects of it, it is a mirror image. Yet again, people have the audacity to sign me up, to sign my children up, to be taken down this route, this lane that these monsters want to take us down. Maybe people need to give themselves a little push, a little pinch to say that you've got no idea, and I'm not speaking to my family, you've got no idea what it's like to live under that kind of regime. Yet we've got people who have escaped that type of regime reporting that the school systems are reflecting conditioning worse than what you find in China regarding white hate, self-hatred. What have we done? What have we allowed sheep to do to us? Because I'm telling you now, no more for me. No more for me. There is enough information. I warned enough people enough times, and many other people bigger and better than me did so too. I've put papers in front of people's faces. I've had psychic visions, and then the information has come down the line. And many other people, again, much greater, much better than me, have done the same too. I still have a level of compassion, but I do have a level of wisdom to know that when I said many will be lost, many are already lost. And I don't sense good things this winter. And now the science that I've been researching, the real science that I've been researching, will show that actually, yes, what I'm sensing, what I've been talking about for months of sensing, this mass death, looks like it's going to be. Now that special infusion starts mixing up with some other things that are put into the collective, normal flus. This is crazy that our children are already psychologically damaged. And again, if you've got to take it that one step further, to not just sign yourself up for giving away your freedoms, i.e. as well, giving away our freedoms or trying to, have the audacity to sign your child up for an experiment. For an experiment. It is a joke that most people wouldn't even take their child into a factory and say, experiment the next line of makeup on my child's face. Would you, Shite? You wouldn't. Yet because so many are so easily conditioned, because it seems to come from an authoritative voice that won't even test makeup on his own children, because it comes from a voice who has already been seen as a fraudster. Think back to HIV. Because it comes from a labeled voice. So easily sign up your children. Well, I'm saying now that sickens me. It sickens me that that would happen, that any parent would do that. So, I don't know how else to say it, that we are being led by evidently mentally ill and balanced people, signing up the collective to be swayed down an avenue that we do not need to keep repeating. We don't need to keep repeating. We could start a new cycle. The energies are there for us from above, from the below. The energies are there for us to start a new cycle, to enter into a new age in a different way. Even being able to incorporate AI in a good way. You know, we've got the mentally disturbed, psychopathic people teaching the AI, just like we're allowing them to do in our schools, to our children. It's shown, it's known that AI learns from example, or learns real quick. And we've still allowed the very people that are quite obviously psychopathic and imbalanced to teach it. Do you know, Amazon had to totally rewrite one of its AI systems because it was so misogynistic. They realized they were employing 0 women because as soon as the AI had learned from its programmer, they don't like women. And so the damn thing, like a child, learned from its daddy and said, I'm not gonna even accept that application form. It says female. So even with AI, we could be entering into a new age and teaching AI, which is kind of a consciousness, let's face it. You know, we could be teaching it in a way that we should be teaching our children. We should be leading our children. The next cycle could be so good. I've seen that possible timeline. I've seen that possible time. And I also see the other possibility. I'm not mentally ill. I'm not imbalanced. And I do not think it is fair or right or righteous for me to sit back and be quiet and be mousy about it and want more subscribers, so I'd give out light, fluffy readings. I actually care about humanity too much to do that. I looked around at the people in that crowd on Saturday and I felt such love for them. You know, I felt such care for them. And as we were walking past with no masks on, hugging, shouting, laughing, singing, all of the things Boris says you can't even do at your own weddings. You can't sing and dance. As I looked at the sides, and there was very few people in masks, but there was still enough people that I noticed. It was like me walking those different timelines in real time. I went into a total trance, walking along in this river of collective love and appreciation and beauty and friendship and bonds that were building among strangers. And I was looking at the sidelines and seeing these people in a totally different reality, masked up, goggled up, some of them. And I thought, what do you see when you look at us? Have we divided so far? Or have enough had that special infusion that they're so detached from themselves, which I warned would happen, that they're so detached from their source energy? Is it like they're looking at aliens when they look at us? Us, you know, germ-ridden humans that are touching and cuddling and sweating as they're walking, breathing and singing and laughing and shouting. Actually having the loving audacity to have a voice, to have an individual opinion. I sort of looked at, and I hope I'm sort of putting it in your mind's eye of what that must have looked like. There was this river of people, all different walks of life, all different colors of skin, different religions even, and you know how I feel about religions, but even that, walking along in this river of a collective movement of individuals working together. I wondered what it must be like to them to witness that. What do we even look like anymore to them? Are we the aliens that they've been getting programmed to look at? Do we look so odd to them? Do we look so removed from them now? Because they're so removed from themselves that they can't see the loving humanity that are with these people that are walking in this river. It's crazy. It's so clever. But you've got to stop and sort of pinch yourself sometimes, haven't you, and think. And I'm going to talk carefully now for the YouTube channel because I have worked hard to build it up to the point that it's at. There's certain things I feel too passionate about to worry about that, but I'm going to be careful in saying they still haven't isolated. They still haven't proved, even though many court documents have been put forward to ask them to do so, including Sir Andrew Lloyd Webber, who, you know, I couldn't care less of who he is, but he is a big celebrity. He is a billionaire, owning on many theatres and productions, putting court papers in to say, prove to me, show me the science that you've even distinguished this from any other flu or cold. Show me. They can't. Because even the damn test can't do that. It can't do it. All of this did not need to happen. But enough people were willing to be sold on lies with no foundation. Poof, no foundation. Castles in the sky. Crazy. So that's where we're at. And because of that, we face such a harder challenge. And that's why I think things, are going to ultimately have to progress. Ultimately, people are going to have to wake up and see that the vast amount of governments around the world have been working together on this. At the top, they've all been puppeted one way or the other to do this to the people they are paid by the people to serve. Has to stop. We're not going to like where we end up. Whew. Okay, so I'm going to do the reading. If you want tarot, you came here for tarot, and ended up with that. So let's see. But I think people are, and it's serious. Not my family in here. Goodness me, I know that you know that you know that I know. Let's see what the chat's saying before I do this reading. Hit that like button, guys. Susie says, please. She's going up on one. She's running off a cliff. Running off the subscriber cliff. Oh, well. Let's see. Okay, so I'm up here. Andrea says, I was saying this exact thing to my friends who said, if the vibration lowers you, then you know it's not for you. I say, I can't put a lid on unknowing. Can't. Totally right. But it's not to lower the vibe, to speak truth and to have a reality check. Absolutely not. I'm so glad you hear Gaia and everybody else. Wendy, hey Wendy. How are you doing? David Berry, brother. Thomas. Gaia says, lives in a war-torn country. She lived in a war-torn country as a child, North Africa. People better wake the F up. I'm with you, sister. I'll show that on the screen. There's people who have lived in those places can see where it's going. It's like, yeah, guys, beautiful sister. It's enough to make you want to pull your hair out sometimes. It must, especially for you, it must be, that you have that comparison and to see where it's going. David Berry says, tell a lie often enough and make it simple enough and the public will believe the lie. And wasn't Hitler quoted saying such a thing? Tell a lie, make it big, or make it unbelievable, and they'll believe it, or something like that, similar. Big Brother says, get him, little one. Oh, Big Brother, I'm about to get him or be got. Either way, we're ready. Oh, Gaia, thank you. It's a good job I've got you. You guys, all of you, Susie, Gaia, Big Brother, Dick, Wendy, Thomas, David, and David. Keith, I think he's gone off Facebook, but Chris off Facebook. They don't want to know. Yeah, they don't. So it's going to have to come to a point where we start letting them direct the traffic. For sure. Paul from Newcastle says, I was talking to my neighbours next door. He's telling me to get you might not be here next year. Might be the opposite way around. I think, brother. Oh, Susie, somebody you follow shouted you out. Oh, Susie deserves that. She's so awesome holding space. Yeah, Guy, we send you love. We do. Such a strong, beautiful lady. I back Susie's intent. The hot, Susie's hot too anyway, so we can back that and send it to you and you, sister Susie, with Gaia. Mary, hey Mary, my green-hearted goddess. Hi Jennifer, hi everyone listening while working in the garden. Love to you. And sorry it was a bit of a rant, Mary. Sorry, not sorry, because I know you back it up. Sister, we have to both as well. Yeah. I'm so grateful for you. Lot. Do you know that? Do you really know that? Do you really, really know that? Because you should. You should. I'm very, very grateful for you. All of you. Dancing naked in the sun. Well, that was a possibility on Hyde Park. We didn't want to give them an excuse for a rest. But yeah, I could have got naked that day. It was hot. Or it might have just been the walking. Hey, Scotty boy. Let's see. Beloved, there you are. Beloved, I need you to drop the link again for your art because I've forgotten which video we put the link on. And when I shut my computer down, the page went off. So, or just tell me the website and then I can look it up again and put you up because I need to show your artwork off. Yes, I do. David Berry says from Soul Tribe Productions, said, I don't wear a muzzle in work. No one stops me or questions me. I feel like I'm walking in a different timeline already. Yeah, I work for the council. Everyone else wears one. There are only 3 of us not infused. Wow, brother. Wow. But yeah, you're right. I've not, the whole time I haven't, and nobody's given me any hassle. I project out there that don't you even dare ask me if I can wear one or if I should be wearing one. And they're exactly the same, brother. Victoria, hey Victoria, mwah, to you. Victoria from Facebook, for those on YouTube that can't see, sending hearts right back at your sister. But I haven't been letting any of this into my reality as far as I can with children. No news, no TV. Yeah, I think, yeah, I mean, it's been difficult in the UK, I think, with the all of the clubs shutting down and the way the schools are. I think there was a level of me having to explaining a certain amount to the boys. Sometimes when you don't explain to them, they'll make up what they're thinking, and life got a bit strange. Everybody started wearing masks. It's really freaky to a child. So that level had to be explained, and I've explained it pretty plainly, but in child words, childlike words. Sorry. Uh, but it has seeped in that, and I think it will seep in that there's no reason, or there was no reason for this mass death. And the kids, didn't need that in their history. They didn't need that in their timeline. We've not had enough of repeating the same history loop. I love you guys so much. I've missed you. I've missed you. Breathe, Sister Susie says. David says, we are God in our dream. Don't let them tell you what to think. Create your own world. I agree with that. I do. But I also feel there is a level of responsibility if we were seeing in any other circumstance people signing children up, i.e. looking back at World War II, why didn't the neighbours even stop them? Why didn't people stand up for at least the children? You know, if the parents are negligible enough to sign them up for an experiment, there's literally labeled an experiment on their own websites of those that produce the infusions. You know, like there's a level of responsibility there, and it's not that I let it create my world. No, you know, I do create my own world. I do know that I can manifest, but I do know also that I'm here and I've got the power to actually have a level of impact, because I get to a point where I couldn't give to, and I can go for it to protect vulnerable. And so there is a level of that too. And there is a level of reality in that there's a balancing force. And we've been out of balance for too long, with systems being built on top of us that can micromanage. With AI coming in under the hands of the people that it is currently under, those systems get, you know, manifest all you like. You're not going to get away from the amount of cameras, the amount of, you know, drones or whatever they want to be using. And so it is important that we take it back. It is important that, yes, we create our own reality, but there is a level of us having to, unfortunately, be the ones that break the chains, you know, that not let the sins of the fathers, so to speak, and the mothers, but it's the saying, you know, the sins of the fathers passed down, you know, and actually be, you know, this generation that actually doesn't leave yet again an even worse loop for our children to exist in. Scotty Boy says, I came to connect with Soul Fam after a great weekend. Reading is an added bonus. Oh, thank you, Scotty Books. It's a bit of a rant. Sorry. KB says, hi, Jen. Hi to you. You're late. It's okay. Big hugs to you. And it sounds like you missed a bunch. He did. He did. I didn't breathe. Yeah. Hey, Joe. Hey, hey, hey. How are you doing? Mr. Wayne Steiger, Professor of Wisdom, my friend, my buddy, my pal. How are you doing? I've been an active Jenny. Favor is upon me. I met some fantastic people. I needed to have a bit of a rant, but I met some fantastic people. I'll tell you all about it when I speak to you. Some interesting people. Thank you. It's a pleasure to have Wayne Steiger in the room. Honored, my friend. Honored. Joe says, I've heard that people who are late are rude, and consequently I get scolded really hard. Well, if that's the case, I'm the rudest girl around, because I'm late sometimes, Joe. And, you know, just chill. What is time? It is but a construct of the matrix. You don't need us down with guns like that. I've got guns. I don't know what I don't know where they come from, but they come from somewhere. I've got guns. I just haven't got the height. I realized that in this crowd of people, I thought I need a bigger stick. Because if I had have gotten signal, I realized half of it is just the top of my head and other people's midriffs. So I realized I need a bigger stick next time for the phone on this march. So it was a learning curve. It was a learning curve. Oh, Drew Devine and Arwin Steiger in the house, Susie said. I'm gonna knock on Mr. Wayne Steiger's door and do a show. You're a fine girl. Oh, thank you, Scotty boy. Sips as beloved. Just imagine like, well, that's the look you give, isn't it, beloved? I can imagine. I know. I see you. Blanca, hey to you. Sorry if I missed your name before, Blanca. Dick says, I've been told I'm selfish being late. I say, OCD, some things you can't rush into. Yeah, I just lean into me now regarding lateness. I just chill, brothers. You're all fine here coming in late. And sisters, Gibby. Yeah, I tried to take the pictures of it from your outside, but I can see why they don't let you do that, beloved, so that people don't just take your images and get them enlarged. So that would be fantastic. Yes, please email me them, and then I can show them much easier from there. And but email me the website too, obviously, so I can put it in the description, like I said I would. Yes, Joe, I'm getting round to replying to emails now. I've just gotten back from London, so I'm getting round to replying to emails now, but I did need Susie's technical help, and she helped me through, and it seems to be working better. I seem to be getting emails from people again. So resend anything that you've already sent. Let's see, I'll read through quickly and I'll do the reading. A few people have given me stickers for not wearing a muzzle. I just look back and tell them, would I owe you money or something? I can hear you saying that, Scotty boy. They look always smart. Hey, Sean. Happy to see you. Sean's on Facebook there. Sean Stroich. You saying the same thing to Susie today. See? Wait, mine's big brother. Right, shall I do this reading? Jalady on Facebook. Hi. Hi to you. Oh, it is, Joe. It is. It is, and that's why the technology isn't a bad thing. It's just it depends whose hands it's in. I think we should fight to get it in the hands of people who are going to cover it and make it for good, because it is amazing that we can talk in real time. It's magical. It's fantastical. I love it. I love the fact that I can be connected with people like this. Love it. I'm vertically challenged. I really am, Dick. I'm very vertically challenged. It was so funny because I'm thinking, does this stick go any bigger? And I didn't have totally flat shoes. I'm very comfy shoes, not totally flat. So good job I just didn't have flat trainers on. I think I would have gotten under people's feet. Okay. Oh, Peter, you're here. You're here. Happy to see you, Peter. Right, I don't know what I'm doing with my screen now. Right, reading. 28th of the 6th, 2021. Bearing in mind, Chris put something up earlier, a link, so I know that will be applicable somehow. I don't know what it's about, so have a look at it. But I trust Chris. It's something interesting that people need to know about. If he's putting it up, he's a wise and kind man. And so the bearing in mind that I said things are going to go down today. I feel they are, particularly in London. I feel it's going to somehow close London off. I feel like the next March, unfortunately, we're going to struggle to get into London, not just with the normal lockdown things. Very interesting things I feel happening with the banking system. If you are in the UK in particular, but elsewhere too, make sure that you're checking that transactions haven't gone through twice. even when you've had a declined receipt, that's been happening and is happening more than people know. I was speaking to people about this black fungus. I can't remember if it was me and Susie or a few other people now. Look out for that. Check your products, because now, of course, it's come down the line. I should have been wrong again, that there's this problem with this strange black fungus in Israel. I think that's going to start affecting, not Israel, India, sorry. I think it's going to start affecting Israel pretty soon too, strangely enough. So be careful regarding that. It's funny that I was bringing up the fungi the other day, and the balance of it, it's such a healer and it's such a killer. And it's one of the most ancient beings of many individual types, that we know. So, there's a key to that somewhere too. So be aware of that for sure. Right, for the 28th of the 6th, 2021, on the bottom of the deck, we have the death card. Now, the death card is multifaceted here. I feel like it's come out because I was talking about a feeling that that death that I do feel is coming. I feel that this is all linked to the little drops that Biden was told to put in, regarding the dark winter, things like that. Certain things Boris was dropping into the conversations regarding, tough winter ahead, as if a tough winter, if it, face planted them with a pile of snow. But that. So there's that. In particular, I want you to be aware that there are far more deaths happening because of the special infusion that they are letting on. I know that's not popular to say, but I'm going to say it anyway because it might just put somebody off, and it better put somebody off from signing up their child. So be aware of that. There is people who are very awake, very awakened, very aware, that are having to deal with either the thought of loved ones dying because they have noticed that since the second one, they have been particularly poorly, run down, tired, things like that, and it hasn't sort of lifted from them. This is something that is going to be part of the real difficulty of what we're going through. And this is something that I was annoyed about at the start of this, because that was unnecessary. People had just not been so complacent, apathetic, and listened. That was unnecessary. But it's not to dwell on the fact that it was unnecessary. Get it out there, yes, do what I did, but then transmute that to say, but this is where we are now. This is where we are now. So we can be proactive in trying to be the innovators of trying to figure out how you can get rid of, in particular, this thing called hydrogel out of the body. It seems pretty impossible, but nothing is impossible. And it also is to speak of getting right with the fact that, people make their own decisions, people walk their own path here. And although, death is something that is sad, remember that, again, might be unpopular to some, but we have been indoctrinated in a very different way to look at death in a very different way to what was natural to us, in that there was a much more knowing of that death wasn't a final, thing. It wasn't a final, door locked. For those who, have traveled through their life, and leveled up, it's actually a birth into something that, can be awesome. For those that haven't, for those that are asleep, maybe they're going to have to, try again. Maybe they're going to have to, try again in a different realm to level up in a different way. And maybe they just never will. But to get right with yourself regarding that, and to be able to go through the transitions of mourning, go through the transitions that is natural to us, to letting go of anything, even those things that we're indoctrinated to, but to be able to continuously transmute that. Don't let it stick with you, and don't let it stick with you as far as we are conditioned to have death stick with us, you know, and be in a state of constant mourning. Because we need to be able to get right with this. We need to be able to level up to this before we are hit with this big style. And so that's what I feel is coming up there. It's multifaceted also, that on the other side of things, it is about letting go of that is not resonating anymore, that is dead in the ground, you know, that is, you know, not working for you anymore. It's not fruitful for you anymore. Giving it over to death, giving it over to not be a part of you anymore. Whatever that might be, a way of thinking, a way of being, you know, relationship, or a business, whatever it might be. You know, the death being a transition that is actually a release, in that, you know, once you've been fighting to hold on to something that is dead, it's not working, it's crumbling in your hands, you give it over, you ultimately, after all of that worry about giving it over, you know, you felt it before, you feel that release, that surge of lightness, because you're not weighted down with driftwood, with dead skin, with that's not serving you anymore. So there's that. On the bottom of the other deck, we have the Nine of Swords. This is where there is a lot of people locked up in their own nightmare, in their own state of nightmare. This speaks to those in the collective that I was speaking about when we were going down in this river of love, of dancing and singing, and all of that, and looking in the periphery, you know, to see these people looking at us like we're aliens masked up. You know, this is where those people, you know, for them to be doing that to themselves, I saw people putting some on their children, for them to be doing that to themselves, and their children. What nightmare are they living in? They're obviously in fear. They're obviously in fear of us. I've seen comments such as on my Facebook, of people who literally couldn't believe it, you know. How can you ever come and visit the United States? Well, hopefully we'll get these so-called powers that be out of there, and, you know, out of here, and we'll be free to travel. Well, you know, you should just take the infusion so that you can. What? Do you realize 4 pilots died simultaneously? All blood clots after the special infusion because of the altitude. And so there's that. So there is this state of nightmare that these people are perpetually in. Now, underneath that, and I don't always do this, as people who would follow me know, but underneath that one is the Three of Swords. There's a lot of wounds that have been hooked into amongst the collective. And so a lot of you have people in your individual lives who have had this, or allowed this into them too. The inner wounds that, you know, have been refused to be healed, refused to be worked on, refused to be looked at. And so they become a weakness instead of becoming a strength, a lesson, lessons from a certain experience, from a certain wound. It becomes a cavity that you know, any, you know, being, any power that be, any other can fill that void. It can fill that void with poison. And so there's a lot of poison in people's minds right now, and ironically in people's bodies, that I feel is also creating a level of poisonous thoughts in their minds. Now watch out for that, because we're starting to see more and more people detached from their empathy, from their compassion. I predicted this, and I'm very sorry that I did, and I'm very sorry that it's come true. Because when I was standing in Hyde Park talking to people, they didn't necessarily know, they hadn't met me before, they hadn't followed me, and I was saying it, and one of them started crying because it said, I've had 2 friends that have had that and experienced that detachment, and I'm witnessing it, and it's almost a fate worse than death. it's a void. They're detached, but they're still here. That's zombie-like. So they're living in a perpetual nightmare. And so this is to be dealt with. But when you're dealing with people in your individual lives today that are under this category, be aware that you can be talking all of the sense in the world. You can be saying all of the right things under the sun, and it could be taken completely the wrong way. You know, that eye video I did the other day, how the vision actually flips it up and then the brain analyzes it and sort of flips it the right way up in the information. You know, that it's like that, but it's staying flipped up, it's upside down. It's not translating anymore. There's certain things I feel that are going to become much more apparent regarding this whole rollout, this whole agenda that is affecting the actual brain, the actual synapses in the brain, the actual functioning of the brain, and being able to think clearly, to have cohesive thoughts. So be aware of that also as you're dealing with people. Be understanding of it, but don't hold yourself ransom to it, because if you do, it's going to become impossible. Again, taking all of this information in, it's not that I'm, everybody who knows me, it's not that I'm a miserable person. I'm quite the opposite. I can actually laugh in the face of misery most of the time, but I am real too. And I'm not pretending to want to help the collective as well as my own children, because what the collective does ultimately affect my children. I'm not pretending to be here to do that. I really mean it. And so I will say those things that are going to either make your life easier or make it more understandable about the energies that certain people are going through. And so it's important that you don't hold yourself ransom to that, and also work on your transmutation, work on your alchemy, work on being the master, no matter what, the goddess, no matter what the outside forces. Make sure that you're getting good night's sleeps. Make sure that if you're getting nightmares, you do the work that needs to be done so that you go into your dream realm, into your realm, as the master, as the goddess, with dominion and sovereignty. So going into sleep with intent is very important. Do not let the nightmares that other people are manifesting and living infect and infiltrate your thoughts, especially in your sleep realm. The first card on here is the Seven of Cups in reverse. This is where things are starting to become a little bit clearer. Yeah. Yeah, thank you, baby. Seven of Cups in reverse. This speaks of things are becoming slowly but surely more into focus and more clear. This is where plans, projects, ideas, ways of thinking are becoming more clear. It's getting easier to see the pinpoint, the project, the way forward. It's on the collective stage, it's getting easier to see that we weren't all crazy, that things are what they are and are what many of us, especially in the chat here, that have said. And so, but in individual lives, this is where things are coming into more focus, and whatever it is that needs to be let go of or transmuted and given over to death, and in order to have that release, whatever nightmares need to end. It's becoming more clear. It's starting to come more into focus that is more undeniable in your individual life. Now we've got as the clarifying card, the Page of Coins in reverse. This is where there's a hesitation to actually still go forward with the clarity that's starting to emerge from these clouds, from this fog, from these cups upside down, this castle in the sky. It's starting to emerge, but the plans are being made in your mind, and to continue with that strategy is being made in your mind. Now, that's super important strategy right now, especially in the coins, in the pentacles realm, you know, strategizing plans and projects that you still can actually enjoy, but that are strategic for nourishment, i.e. growing your own food, doing practical things like that. And that's becoming much more clear and important to a lot of people today, which is a relief. We've got the got 2 9s so far. 3 9s, okay. 999, that's our emergency number, just with the things I said going down in London today. The 9 of Wands, next card, this speaks of a level of discernment needed before you jump into a path, which is exactly what I was talking about regarding being swayed down an avenue by the collective or in your individual lives by others that are living in this fear or this nightmare. Don't let that sway you. Don't let that impact you. To be super discerning as an individual right now is very, very important. And for you to be able to take that pause to see a different way, to see a better way forward, particularly when things are starting to emerge clearer, but they're going to become real clear over the next 24, 48 hours for you if this resonates for you. And so having that level of discernment to take that stop and that pause before taking action is very important. Now, that is doubly impacted by the clarifying card. And I checked the deck, hardly any of them were in reverse, but this is what it is. The reversed 3 of Wands. So it's Wands again. So it really does impact on this 9 of Wands, where it's saying discernment is needed, a stop and a pause is needed to be able to have the clarity and foresight of seeing a different way, a different possibility, a different way forward. The 3 of Wands, speaking of, it's the taking action card, where the 2 of Wands is the embryonic stage of planning, of thinking things through, of getting excited about things, looking at the horizon of the opportunities. The 3 of Wands is where you would usually be sowing the seeds, taking the action to whatever it is that you're taking the action towards. In reverse, it's speaking of, taking that pause. The action is there, the fire is there, but you don't want that fire to burn you. So this clarifying, this means, super discerning before you take action today. Today, if it was made for the next 24 to 48 hours, any major decisions, I would put them off. I would put them off because the energies I feel would be much more applicable for your greatness in 2 days' time rather than today. There's nothing wrong with you having that fog get even thinner around a certain idea, a project, a thing, a person, for you to be able to strategize even further and have even more discernment and even more focus, because the more definite you can be regarding the direction that you need to go in, the more strength you're going to have behind it, the more intent you're going to have behind it. So just as in magic, in alchemy, the more strong intent that you have, the better the result regarding the result that you want. And so there's nothing wrong with waiting those 2 days, I feel. If it's for business, for sure, I'm saying to you now, wait those 2 days. There's something about the energies that just need to pass for people, where they'll be coming in much clearer and this fog will be dissipating much, much more, which will give you much more, I think that the opportunities will come in for many of you, that will give you even more opportunity to strategize further, for even more greatness. And this will be good for you if this is business, for sure. There's nothing wrong with saying, I'll sign it in 2 days, matey. Okay, I'm away for 2 days. I'll be back in 2 days. Then I'll come and have a look at the contract or the agreement, or then I'll come and shake your hand, whatever it might be. There's nothing wrong with waiting that 2 days. I just feel for a lot of people, information is going to come flooding in that is going to blow that fog away on this 7 of Cups in reverse even more, so that the 8 of Cups would then be leaving something behind, going in a different direction. With that Death card, there's some things, there's some information that is going to give you that enlightenment, that strategy, and that focus and intent on, when you're doing the right thing, and that discernment. And so the next card is the 9 of Swords. And this speaks to, yes, a lot of the situations going on in individual lives are nightmarish, or you are witnessing loved ones that are in a nightmarish situation. And no matter what vibe we are on, I've been on a high vibe, I've been having a great time. But you've got to be real too when you're looking around at the collective. There is a nightmare situation going on. There is a lot of dark stuff going on. There is a lot of nasty abuses going on around the world. I was speaking to a friend that I've made in Australia. The Aboriginals came up and my blood ran cold. Look out for information coming up on the Aboriginals. They're going to try and make it out to be something, for their own safety, for their own goodness, under all of these new acts that they've created under, the COVID type label bracket. But that land is being taken from them, and it's worse still than that. I feel there are a lot of them that are meeting a very nightmarish time right now. And so look out for information on that when you start to see the softly propaganda speaking out about it. Oh, we're doing it for the good of them, and very well posed pictures. Look into it even deeper, because it's very dark there. So regardless of the vibe that we can stay on because we are masters or we are goddesses, regardless of that, there is this level of wisdom that needs to be had. That if you don't recognize all of your surroundings, if you don't at least have the discernment to know and look at everything that is in the equation, that is in the mix, then you're going to miss some things out of the equation. You're going to miss some things out of the mix for your greatness, for your discernment, for your greatest discernment. We've got the devil in reverse. And so this would speak to, again, going back to that Seven of Cups in reverse, things becoming much clearer, almost like, the devil, kind of thing. You can see it, you can feel it, what you're being chained to, what you're allowing yourself to be chained to. A lot of you, this will be individuals within your life. A lot of you, it'll be certain aspects of location. What are you being chained to and why? And this would go back to that Three of Swords card under here, under this Nine of Swords. It really is having a reality check on your life, on your surroundings, on your every surrounding, building up only people that you can trust, comrades in arms, so to speak, around you, rather than people who are maybe going to be a liability or, continue to keep you at a level when you're ready to be up at this level. And so be aware of that. But this is a good thing. This is a release. Again, going back to that death card, this is the opportunity for release of chains that have bound people for a long, long time. Some of them generational chains that have been passed down through generation to generation. Again, going back to that thing I said, the sins of the fathers being the ones that break those chains, those binds, those things that bind us to a lower frequency that is not good for us. But through this is about getting to know what your root is, your being is. This is about getting to know your inner demons and making them into inner diamonds. This is about you being able to, just like you lift the diamonds from the soil, they're dirty, they're not very shiny, they have to be cut a certain way, and then all of a sudden they refract light, they bounce light. This is where I was saying, you've got to know your darkness, you've got to know your root, you've got to know your demons in order to chisel them into your diamonds. That is how you reach that higher echelon of enlightenment, because you reflect the light from the very darkness, from the very soil, from the very root of your being, the devil within inside, the things that you find hidden within, the things that we even hide from ourselves from the longest time. This is an opportunity to break those chains. And this is the good thing about where we are at with the energies, and even the good thing about, using what is bad for good, i.e. where these so-called powers that be have directed us to, because it's really showing up the darkest corners of self for those that have the power and the wisdom and the knowledge and the enlightenment to be able to look and to be able to take a chain breaker to those chains that have bound generations of their families, generations of humanity in some cases, and break those damn chains and allow the devil to become, you know, that devil that you do know, that you chisel, that you can stand on the shoulders of within, to reflect your enlightenment even higher, to get through to the 9 realms rather than the first 2 or 3. This is where we are at. There's opportunities everywhere we look, but we need to look for them. We need to take action on them. And we maybe need to still be speaking up with passion, with drive, for those that could be maybe given a level of discernment now regarding not going down certain routes in the collective. After all, this is a numbers game, which is why they've always worked with numbers, which is why they brought in the 2-vote-in system, you know, the 2-party system for around so many places in the world. Because with numbers, they can actually channel their agendas, they can create them to happen. So this is where we do have to learn from them too. What has been working for them can work for us. We can make it work for us, but we have to be able to have the discernment to even look, to even say, so what's their game plan? It's worked for them plenty of times. Why can't we take from it and use it for good? So yes, speak up. Yes, be passionate. Don't waste your energy. Don't cast your pearls before swine, or whatever that saying is, but don't give your wisdom to those that are going to just throw it back at you, or even distort it and throw it back at you in a dirty way. But yes, for those that you think are going to listen, for those that you think have got a chance, speak up, because this is a numbers game. It is. The greater the numbers of those that are enlightened are now against this narrative and this agenda that's being pushed down our throats and down our children's throats and down other people's children's throats. While some parents are signing their children up for it, I'll not go back on that because I spoke about that quite passionately at the start, but I could, and I could for an hour. So speak up, do your bit for that where you see the opportunities to do so. But in your individual lives, take these opportunities and dig down to that inner devil, because it is that inner devil that has the capacity to actually see in the dark, to actually help enable you to be enlightened to dark plans of others, because you know your own, you can see in the dark. It doesn't matter that they're hiding things, that they're putting it under the occult label, which is just hidden. Because you can see in the damn dark. You've been eating your carrots instead of having carrots dangled in front of you by individuals in your own life, or carrots by the so-called powers that they look. That looks a little bit like a carrot, you know. Instead of that, you know, you're eating your own damn carrots, and now you can see in the dark, and you can even see in their darkness. I don't know where that came from, but that's for somebody. So that is the reading for the 28th of June 2021. I don't know. Should I give you what can I do? That's light and fluffy. I'm like other readers. Let's pretend I'm light and fluffy. What can I do? It's light and fluffy. It's so bad that I can't think of anything to do with light and fluffy right now. Ay, ay, ay. Hey, Cowboys 8 panel. That sounds like a cool name. See it? Yeah, then look away. Brandy. Hey, Brandy. Joe says, in one timeline, I've already casted myself into the nothingness. But that version of myself has sent an emergency message to myself. Don't do it. Don't be stupid. Joe, don't do it. I'm telling you, don't be stupid. We need you. We love you, brother. Yes, we are dearly beloved. And that's the truth. Hi to you, cowboy. Let's see. Don't go into the nothingness, Joe. We need can't do anything like something. Oh, I can. I had the deck in reverse. I was gonna have to come up with some. So 3 of Cups. Celebrations. This is what happened on the march the other day. Amongst all of the craziness, standing in front of the buildings where the most darkness goes down, we were celebrating together. Hi, brand new cowboy, good boy. We were celebrating. We were joyous. We were speaking the truth about some very dark things. But you know, yeah, Susie, we love you. But we were celebrating. We were amongst friends, even though a lot of us were strangers. We were friends because of the frequency we were on, and that frequency was opposing. I mean, Westminster, one of the darkest places you can get, not because of the building, but because of the spirits that dwell in it, because of the generations of darkness that have been planned within it. And we were meeting that, we were opposing that force in celebration, in community, in togetherness. So it is so important to have this love shared between all of us. It's so important to listen to David Berry when he's saying things like, "You are all beloved." It's all us. We can be in absolute bliss, even in the darkest hour, even opposing the darkest force. We can meet that force with force, in loving and having friendship with one another, building bonds with one another, you know. And there's nothing wrong with having serious context and content, but still being able to laugh about it. Because after all, what else are you going to do? You can only cry for so long. Crying's important for time. Laughing is for always, always. That's why they used to send entertainers through the hospitals for the kids. Don't do it now in the NHS, of course. But, you know, it's healed. There was studies when I was doing my nursing degree. There was studies to show that the healing rate went through the roof for wards that had fun things for the children to laugh at. And so that is what, thank goodness, saved me. So that is the Three of Cups. So I'm raising my cup, a little coffee cup, to all of you and saying, I love you. I dearly, dearly love you. To the new people, to my family, the old, I love you all dearly and could not be without you. I appreciate you, and stand shoulder to shoulder with you. And that goes for everybody there at the march, and they know who they are. So, you know, let's see. Number 10, Black Mirror. It is a black mirror, that door. That door, Paul, you saw right. Peter, hey. Let's see. Peter says, if you leave, at least in my lifetime, I've had one dream come true. Was blessed to be loved by someone as wonderful as you. So please don't go. Please don't go. Please don't go. That's that song, isn't it? I didn't realize I was reading a song there. Please don't go. My dad used to sing that. This time I will not do it, Joe says. No, you won't, Joe, quite frankly. This time I centered myself in true love. Good. Swim in it, Joe, because we all love you. You've got waves of it coming over you. You watch Star Trek, beloved? My mom watches Star Trek. I don't. But she says there's so much esoteric knowledge in Star Trek. Like there's a lot of projective messaging in there too, you know, not all for bad either. She said there's a lot of good grounding in esoteric knowledge in Star Trek. Go figure. But you know, she doesn't say things like that lightly about stuff, and she says it about Star Trek, so I can't get away with it. Like she used to watch it when I was a kid, and I dreaded because she didn't really watch TV at all, but Star Trek she did. It seemed to last ages when I was a kid. Felt like it was on for 3 hours. It probably wasn't. It was probably on for half an hour. But it felt like 3 hours. Brandy says, Joe, glad to have you back in my best Captain Kirk voice. She's funny. Without the option of oblivion. Stick. I don't know what that's. Yeah, just like the word oblivion. But Cowboys 8 panel, I like that name. I really like that name. Because I'm 4-4, so 8. Want to know what your panel is. Susie says, keep your crowns on, your gods and goddesses. Yes, for sure. Keep those jewels shining. Well, if the name Peter means toxic, Peter, what's in a name? And plus, you know, Britney Spears, you know, what's that song? Toxic. You know, she did pretty well off it. Toxic doesn't mean bad. You could be like intoxicating, and you are. With your words, you can intoxicate people in a good way. People don't have to get drunk on spirits. They can get drunk on your music, knowledge, and lyrics. See? No, we are gods and goddesses, says Gaia, and she is just like Susie, never drew a word. Who are you to be great, beloved? You are beloved. You are our beloved. And you are great. So that's how I'm answering that. Oh, Goddess Rain Love. Thank you, Cowboys 8 panel. We are in our power. Yes, we are. We got this, Gaia. I think I've got everything. Um, Regine. Is Regine here? Sorry, Regine. I didn't say your name. Sorry. Smiles to you too. Food, water, medicine, love and kindness now. Yep. Yep. Paul is in the garden 12 hours a day. Oh, my brother. My brother doing what he needs to do. Is there, David? There is a lot of Sahara sand in the atmosphere at the moment. Now, oh, what does that take me back to? There's a way that it travels. There's a way that sand travels around the world, and there's a great esoteric lesson in it, actually. I've forgotten, but I'll look in my notes because I know I've got something like that written down. So it's interesting you say that, David, that it's traveling around a lot at the minute in prevalence. So Peter says, in the real world, we have no control, income tax rules, regulations, etc. Well, we do, but too many people are okay in the system, so to speak, so keeps emboldened in this system that is actually a layered system over a reality that we should be living under more of a common law type energy, under more of a sovereign energy. But actually, one of the guests I'm hopefully going to have on after speaking to her at this London March is somebody, a lawyer, who can explain that real well, that actually it takes even the laws that she listed it takes us, as well as holding the courts to account, the police to account, it takes individuals in the collective to actually be a part of policing their own community and policing themselves, to be sovereign and make those sovereign decisions in order for us to be able to this whole system out of the way. Systems. Gaia, I didn't see that. I'm so sorry. She says our whole family took the jab. I know that there was a lot of them had already taken, but I didn't know and I hadn't seen that. I'm so sorry, sister, but so many people at that march, and so many people in the groups I'm in speaking and being with are in the same position, and it's awful. It's awful. I haven't got too much to say to them other than to console them and help them transmute through that and let go of that. So a lot of this reading would have been for you, Gaia. And I know you're strong enough to do, but still, it doesn't make it any nicer or easier, and you shouldn't have to. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that. Come and say goodbye to everybody, because oh, let's go. We're gonna go.
Yeah.
Susie says she's learning to control her dreaming. That's good.
How?
Oh, look, Peter says, here, little man. That's you, your little man. I'm little mom, your little man.
What do you mean? Miss Susie's getting her dreams under control?
No, she's saying, yeah, learning to control the dreaming. So it means she's learning to be able to dream and go wherever she wants to go to in her dreams. So she might say, I want to go over a rainbow in my dreams tonight. So she's learned to do that. So she definitely goes to a rainbow and definitely goes over to it. Or she might say, I want to go and visit Theodore over a rainbow in my dream tonight. And she's definitely going over a rainbow and definitely coming to see Theodore in her dreams. That's how you control your dreams.
I don't mind how this is spinning. It's me.
So I'll let you go because this little man is itching at the bit to go in the garden. I'm gonna go in the garden with him. Later to you, Joe. Love you all. Love you all. Mwah. Appreciate you all.
Went to the horse just to my check and Abby's on the queen's foot.
Okay. Right. Okay. Love you all. Appreciate you all. Missed you, and I'll be back real soon. Say goodbye.
Warrior, what? Warrior?
Warrior spirits, Peter says. Susie says, love you, Theo. Blow kisses. Blow. Much love. Much love. Blanca says, much love. David says, bye. Dick says, need more power. Blessings to you too. Cowboys 8 panel. Susie's blowing you kisses. Look, and look, beloved says, Shante.
What?
Okay, let's go. Trying to press the button to say end. You're welcome, Dick.